In this video, we shall be looking at 1. Perfect square. 2. Square roots. What is perfect square? When I multiply a whole number by itself, the result of this is called a perfect square, or you say square. What do I mean by this? For example, 1 multiplied by 1 is equal to 1. 2 multiplied by 2, which you can also say 2 raised to power 2. That's what we mean by square. So 2 times 2 will give me 4, and 3 by 3 will give me 9. So here, 1, 4, and 9 are perfect square. Also, a fraction can be a perfect square, e.g., 1 over 2 multiplied by 1 over 2. If you multiply the upper part, 1 times 1 will give me 1, and the lower part 1 times 2. 2 times 2 will give me 4, so I have 1 over 4. So 1 over 4 also here is a perfect square. So example, find the perfect square of the following numbers. 1, 4, 2, 9, 3, 10, then 4, 1 over 4. So solution. For 4, the perfect square is 4 multiplied by 4. You multiply by itself, it gives me 8. And for 9, I have 9 multiplied by 9, which gives me 81. And for the third one, 10. 10 multiplied by 10 gives me 100. And for the fourth one, 1 over 4 multiplied by 1 over 4 gives me 1 over 16. Can you see that? So 8, 81, 100, and 1 over 16 are all perfect square. Also note, a whole number that is a perfect square is a square root of another number. What do I mean by this? Example, 4 is a perfect square. And it is a square root of 16. Do you get that? So let's look at what square root is, and you understand better. So square root, I said the perfect square is a square root of another number. So for example, 3 multiplied by 9. 3 multiplied by 3 gives me 9. So 9 is a perfect square, and 3 multiplies itself to give 9. That means the square root of 9 is 3. You get that? So also the symbol for square root is this. Can you see? So example, for square root of 16 now, can you see that? To get the square root of 16, what will multiply itself to give me 16? That's 4. So if I multiply 4 multiplied by 4, the square root of 4 multiplied by 4 will give me square root of 4 squared. So which will give me 4. So to find the square root of 4 squared is what? 4. The square, the 2 will rule out the square root I mean. So it will give me 4. Also, the square root of 25. 5 multiplied by 5 will give me 25. So square root of 5 multiplied by 5 is equal to square root of 5 squared. Can you see that? So the answer is 5. So the square root of 25 is 5. So also, we can use the term square root of a squared is equal to a times square root of a times a, which will give us a. That's just pretty simple. So anytime you have square root of a squared number, it will always give you that number. So let's look at this. Square root of perfect square by factor method. So this is another method for finding square root of a number. So note, perfect squares are always with even indices or power. Example, 4 is a perfect square. So because 2 multiplied by 2 gives us 4. So I have 2 raised to power 2. Can you see? Also 16 will give us 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which will give us 2 raised to power 4. Can you see that the powers are even numbers? Also, can you see that? So to find the square root of a number, we use prime factor method. That is, we divide the number with the prime factors only. So I told you in our previous class that prime numbers are numbers that have 2 factors, 1 and itself, and I've given you the examples of how and to find and identify prime factors, so we should not have a problem with this. So also, let's look at some example now of how to use the prime factor method. Example, find the square root of the numbers below using the prime factor method. 1, 25, 2, 900. So let's solve 25 first. We are finding the square root of 25. So I said that we divide by prime numbers. So dividing by prime numbers means when we are dividing our number by prime factor, it won't give us a remainder. So we must divide with a number that will make sure that we won't have a remainder, and number must be a prime factor. So if you look at 25 now, the first prime number is 2. And 2 is not a factor of 25. So the first factor of 25 is what? 5. So dividing 25 by 5 will give us 5. So we divide by 5 again, so I have 5 in 5 will give me 1. So that's the end of our division. So how many 5s do I have? I have 2. So 25 is same thing as 5 times 5, which is same thing as 5 squared. So the square root of 25 equals to square root of 5 squared. So which will give me what? 5, as illustrated above. So number 2, 900. So the first factor of 900 is 2, which is also a prime number. We can't use 1 because 1 is not a prime factor. Do you get that? Okay. So the first prime factor is 2. So you divide 900 by 2, we have 450. 2 can also divide 450. So if you divide 450 by 2, we have 225. So here, 2 cannot go in 255 because it will give us a remainder. So we move to the next prime number, which is what? 3. So can 3 go in 225? Yes. So 3 into 255 will give me 75. 3 can also go in 75. So 3 in 75 will give me 25. So 25, 3 cannot go in 25 because it will give me a remainder. So I choose the next prime factor. 4 is not a prime factor, so 5 again. So 5 in 25 will give me 5. 5 can still go, so 5 in 25 will give me 1. So that's the end of our division. So I have 2 2s, 3 3s, and 2 3s, and 2 5s. So I have 900 to be same thing as 2 multiplied by 2, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 5, multiplied by 5. So what I have here is 2 squared times 3 squared times 5 squared. This is same thing as 2 times 3 times 5 all squared, because everything has the power of 2, so you can write it like that in brackets. So root 900 now will give us root 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5 all squared. So the square will cancel out the roots. So I have 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5, which will give me 30. I hope you understand this.